Hello folks, and thanks for watching True Stories with me, Sherry Weens. I hope everybody's staying safe as we're all continuously dealing with this pandemic epidemic, but here we are. I have a couple of interesting stories to share with you today. One is a little bit personal, but the other one very much coincides with it. If you're interested in hearing it, stay tuned. Now, I've been following this story as it's been happening, but I did want to wait till it had gone through most of its course before I gave you some thoughts on it. Now, let's talk about Yat-sen Cheng. Yat-sen Cheng Liba is a Chinese Cuban born in Mantanas, Cuba. And Mantanas is known for its its poets and culture. It's got Afro-Cuban folklore. It's very much located on the northern side of the shore on the island of Cuba. The main island of Cuba is the second most populated country in the Caribbean with 11 million people. So although that number sounds really high, it's truly only calculating like 0.15% of the population of the world. So that can just put that in perspective for a second. Holy cow. Cheng is the smallest of three boys. He's the baby of the family. And by all accounts, he had a very normal childhood growing up. By the age of 9, he had decided to begin studying dance at the Cuban National Ballet School. Cheng, as I said, is the youngest in his family. And at 18 years old, he managed to graduate as a dancer/teacher, and he joined the Cuban National Ballet School. In 1992, at 21 years old, he was invited to the International Dance Festival of La Baule in France. If anybody here is French, then oui, oui, tu sais qu'est-ce que je veux dire. But if you're unfamiliar with this event, it's where thousands of people gather together. They do some singing, they do dancing, they entertain. There's even bands that come to play, and it's just a really well-known event that people celebrate. Cheng performed in many countries after joining the Jeune Ballet de France. He was the guest artist at several galas, including the Wings in Memory of the Princess Diana 50th birthday celebration. A year later, he joined the English National Ballet as a principal dancer. So if you don't know too much about dancing, I will fill you in a little bit here. I did some research, but I do have a little bit of experience in some ballet and tap and jazz. All fun. Principal dancers are the highest ranking position or category you can be known as in the professional dance community. So to be a principal dancer is sort of the highest form that you can get to in dance. Being a principal dancer, you have all kinds of knowledge. You are very well prepared to be a soloist. You can also be a pas de deux. If you don't know what a pas de deux is, it's actually where two people, usually a male and a female, dance together. Now, there was an exception in the movie White Knights, and they did pas de deux with Mikhail Baryshnikov and Gregory Hines. They performed that dance together, two men, but usually it's done by a male and a female. As Cheng was developing in his career and evolving in his dance, he did manage to have quite an extensive relationship with the prima ballerina Simone Clark. Eventually ended up having a daughter together. Simone left and married in 2008 a wonderful gentleman, Richard Barnbrook. Simone Clark just wasn't getting the support from Cheng that she needed for her daughter and herself, and she ended up leaving him in 2007. In 2008, she ended up opening up her own dance studio. Simone Clark was born in Leeds, Yorkshire. In 2012, Cheng was appointed artistic director of the Espinosa Dance Project. None of these prestigious awards or high-ranking positions were good enough. He seemed to have something that didn't quite screw correctly on him, and he set his desires and sights upon the students that he was working with. The students that trusted him, that were so starstruck to meet somebody of such a prestigious high level in the dance community, and then to have that star person, you know, completely inappropriately treat you is absolutely crushing, I'm sure. Many of the girls were very starstruck until Cheng began his inappropriate behaviors. Over the course of Cheng's career, if you will, he received many awards, including the Guinness World Record of Fastest Turns in 30 Seconds in 2009 award. His crimes did occur between 2009 and 2016 before the very first victim came forward with the allegation. Yat-Seng Cheng is now 49 years old, and Mr. Cheng actually assaulted 4 women between the ages of 16 to 18 years old. He worked as a coach in the English National Ballet School and Young Dancers Academy. He often worked with people on the side as well. However, he sort of acted like a double agent. He was not only the coach, but he was also the person that they would go to if they were hurting. They would seek assistance from the person they thought was the duo in this situation that ended up just being somebody maliciously taking advantage of a situation. I mean, there were allegations about him coming into the girls' bathroom. He tried to get into the shower with one of the girls. He would massage them, and while he's massaging them, he would be breathing super heavily in like a creepy fashion, one of the girls described it as. He would undress in front of the students. He even pinned one woman to the floor. He was asked to stop. He didn't listen. The girls would describe him giggling or sometimes kind of laughing when he would attack them. I don't know why. I'm assuming out of nervousness, knowing that deep down in his gut, he knew what he was doing was really wrong, but he still wanted to do it and see if he could get away with it. Is that really where your mind was at? After everything you had achieved, you wanted to turn your sights towards your students? And not only that, your underage students? Wow. Of course, the allegations came out, all sorts of variations. And you know what I thought was super, super smart, though, is that the girls were so intuitive to realize that sometimes in this world, you cannot just go on your word of mouth. We would all like to, right? We would all like to just go on our word of mouth. However, that's not how the world operates these days. Most of the time, proof is in the pudding. So if you have a recording that you can show that proves what somebody's doing, that's the cake right there. You know, that's the icing, that's the cherry, that's the cake. So that's what these girls smartly enough did. They set up a camera, and during their pre-recorded stuff that these girls were able to capture was literally top notch, okay? You gotta love video proof. The prosecution's case was packed with considerable evidence of this video proof. A lock and the key to seal this fate of Mr. Cheng so that he cannot do this to anybody else anymore. Mr. Cheng would inappropriately give massages to these students rather than contacting somebody who is a professional and perhaps adding that cost to the parents or the school fees or something. He decided to take it upon himself to physically massage these girls that were underage. Not only was he not qualified to do that to them, he had no experience whatsoever in that. Just because he was in dance and maybe had treatments done to himself from professional masseuses, they provide a person that is a professional in that industry to help you get through what you need to do to become active again. Mr. Cheng decided to take that all upon himself and decided to be that person for these girls. I'm so thankful that the girls were smart enough to get this on videotape to prove what it is that this guy was doing. What was going on behind closed doors was completely inappropriate and very wrong. And the fact that he was laughing or giggling or deep breathing about it. All kind of tells me that he knew what he was doing was wrong. Very, very heartbreaking, because not only have I had my own sexual trauma in my life, it's something that is so hard to overcome, and it affects you for so long. You're literally robbing a woman of her freedom when you violate her sexually in that way. And I can say that from experience, and it is not an easy thing to get through. My personal story is coming up now. Hello, today I'm here to talk to you about my special vagina story. My vagina story involves a little bit of trauma, but let's start from the beginning. So growing up, there wasn't really a lot of talk about my vagina. There was really just told that it was a private part. Unknown to my knowledge, that anyone in my family were aware of the early childhood trauma to my vagina. Signs of suffered abuse began to surface the older that I got. Actions of acting out and flashbacks and anger were abnormal at such a young age. It would later take lots of therapy, years of self-awareness, getting to know my body, my vagina. Years of becoming comfortable with my vagina was a long and difficult road that I had to travel. At the tender young age of 10, 11 years old, I suddenly experienced my first period. So much fun, right? While my menstruals had started at an annual camp festival, for goodness sakes, I had no choice but to go to the retreat's nurses station. I was able to get some products. I got pads and tampons with few instructions. Thankfully, there was instructions in the packages that helped me, but after using more than half the box, trying to figure it out, I had wasted much of the product, more than I had used it. Nobody had talked to me about menstrual periods, so I was really shocked. I knew that I wasn't in pain, but I wasn't sure why I was bleeding. So it was definitely a difficult situation. Thankfully, my friend was there to help me. I was glad to see the instructions inside the box. If I had thought then that that was rough, little did I know an earth-shattering event was coming, and it was going to rock the very foundation of my world upside down. As a young virgin adolescent, around 12, 13 years old, naturally I was curious about my body, my vagina, my sexuality, boys. I had experienced my first kiss, and it was intense. It was amazingly intense. The excitement that brought from a crush was amazingly intense. So when one of these crushes in junior high invited me for lunch at his place, me and my vagina would forever regret the decision I made to go that day. A violent lunch it was for me, as this guy forcefully took my most precious virginity status and sent me back to school walking, hurting. My vagina hurt. I was bleeding, crying, and traumatized. This event set my life trajectory onto a different level. A lack of trust settled inside of me, along with a level of fear that took over my teens and young adolescence before I realized me and my vagina needed some long overdue serious help. After some research, I enrolled me and my vagina into one-on-one therapy program to help with my sexual trauma and the effects that it had had on my life. After many years, I'm thankful now that not only do I understand my vagina, but I also value my vagina. By doing this, I have a positive, healthy relationship with myself and my vagina, creating elevated confidence, self-love, and self-care. It all starts with ourselves, ladies. Our own self-respect, our dignity as we grow and learn about our bodies and vaginas. I would like to introduce you to Loyal Body. They have come up with some amazing, beautiful products. I'm going to show you these, and these are for our vagina. So the beautiful, compact, discreet applicator helps with installing, if you will, the beautiful pearls that they have here. Now, I personally love that these are individually wrapped because you can just dispose when you're finished. But the pearls here, these are the holy grail of vaginal health. All of these products that they have created are specifically for us. Now, this gets put into the top of the capsule and you just simply lay on the bed in order to insert. Now, these products, there's boric acid natural properties created to balance the vaginal environment. These suppositories are odor controlling and soothing when things are off balance. They also have a great product for pH balance that you can test your vagina to see where you're at. Very, very cool. Peace of mind product that the company offers are overnight light sleeps. Now these are really nice because the vaginal discharge is normal that we have, especially when using suppositories, and the panty liner is designed to sort of absorb this discharge and maintain a balanced environment because it has an antimicrobial pH balance core in the middle. And I'll show you what that looks like, okay? Interesting products that women have invented for women, which is exactly what we need. So there's the pH balance in the middle that helps to keep us regulated and catch any discharge that may happen from the suppository. And each one of those are also individually wrapped inside of your package, okay? Excellent because it leaves you with breathable, absorbent, organic cotton on both ends. It also offers a layer of discharge odor-proof layer. So excellent products to promote healthy pH and support odor control. There you have it, folks. Amazing loyal body products made for women by women. I hope you enjoyed my vagina story, and I hope that you order your loyal body products to regulate yourself too. I will put in the description box a link for you to go and order your first products from them too. There's nothing better in 2021 than women supporting women. I, for one, appreciate each and every one of you. So I personally was quite profusely disgusted that this man would not only not take his position in the school seriously, he didn't even seem to accept the prestigious hierarchy of his award, and therefore the behavior that should have come in part with that. Maturity, for one, which just wasn't even there with this guy. I wonder if there were any signs that any of the faculty maybe perhaps noticed. Did somebody see something happen really fast? Did somebody walk by and maybe see something that, you know, they weren't even sure what the heck they saw? But now that all of this is coming out, they're realizing, oh my gosh, I walked past that door one day or whatever, and I remember seeing the arse end of something that was going on, but nobody was saying anything about it yet, right? None of the victims had come forth yet, so there were no allegations yet. So obviously, if there were a faculty member that saw something like that, they may not even know, you know, how serious of a situation that girl was in that moment, right? But really heartbreaking and quite disgusting. I'm so glad that he was convicted on 12 counts of sexual assault. He was also convicted on 1 count of assault by penetration. He's due to be sentenced June 18th, and I am anticipating a severe sentence. Honestly, I don't see a judge looking at this situation and the multiple victims involved and allowing this man to be released in 25 years or something on good behavior. I mean, in my opinion, he should be sentenced indefinitely, that for the rest of his life, he's going to spend that in jail now. I mean, it's just, he should never be allowed out, because let's face it, he's probably just going to get smarter to not get caught the next time around. And nobody needs to live through something like that. I can tell you, it's the hardest thing to get over, to get through, to deal with, is something like that happening to you. So my heart, my prayers, my thoughts, they go out to the victims here. And another point I just really wanted to bring to your attention that I absolutely was floored to learn is that the UK Victims of any sexual offense receive a lifelong anonymity from the minute that they come forward with an allegation. They are protected for the rest of their life. That is something we should all be doing. I don't think that somebody should be able to access personal information on a victim of sexual assault. I don't think that's something that should be public. I don't think that that is something that should be privy to anybody but whom it happened to and the people or person that that individual decides to trust. So I am so glad that you guys stayed to watch the entire video, and please tell me your thoughts in the comments section. Did you follow the case all the way through? Did you watch every single bit that happened? I'd love to know your thoughts. It was really a profound case and quite shocking in my opinion, but I do love to hear from you guys. If you have something that you'd like to share, please put it in the comments section. I will respond to it all. And if you liked this video, give it a like. And if you're not yet subscribed, click that little subscribe button so you don't miss a thing around here. We're pretty real. We talk about all kinds of true stories. And I'd love to see you all back here again. Thanks for watching True Stories with me, Sherry Weens. Bye for now, folks. Stay safe out there.